Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to cover the attachments for our JoyT5 1-ton machine. As you can see here and overviewed briefly in the last video, we have the rake, the hydraulic tilt bucket, standard dig bucket, the standard cleanout bucket, and then the auger. We'll go around the other side, show you the two buckets. And here we are, other side of the trailer, just like magic. This is the standard 30-inch cleanout bucket for the 1-ton machine that they offer. Not much to be said about it, other than you can order a bolt-on cutting edge from them. They will work with you and grab you one of those. Coming over here, standard cleanout bucket. Now this is a 12-inch bucket. Well, more like 11.5 from there to there. But when you dig in the ground, you're getting generally about 12 inches of cut. The hydraulic tilt bucket is 32 inches across, so is the standard cleanout bucket. And again, this you can get with the bolt-on cutting edge if you custom order it with them. Again, they will do. Jump up here, walk around. And this here is the 24-inch rake, standard rake for most 1-ton attachments. They do offer a ripper. You'd have to contact them about that, as I don't have one. But the rake works good for light ripping or raking or what have you. Just going to take a closer look at some of the attachments as well. We're going to talk about pins, something I did cover in the overview of the machine, but as you can see here, this is your standard type pin. Goes through, and it's not, there's no way of keeping it stable on the other side. It's just through the hole with one small bolt and again a welded plate kind of ear, typical of any Chinese or off-brand attachment manufacturer. Where when we look over here at the cleanout bucket that JoyT5 themselves designed and had built for them, you can see the nylock nut on the end here. So there's two. And then when we come around, you can see the pins. Oh, they're nicely set into these slots here to hold them in place, as well as the grease fittings in the middle of the pins for extra lubrication. That is standard on all of JoyT5's attachment. That is all standard. This, on the digging bucket, is what you get at either the auction grade stuff or with what comes from the manufacturer, from either Ripa or Kimron or any of them. This is the usual runaround that you get from them. I prefer, obviously, those other pins there, and in the future I will be changing this bucket out for a custom built one by JoyT5 that allows for those pins and a little thicker metal all around, because even here you can see the difference if you look at them. That's a little thicker than that, just by just a little bit, but it makes a difference. So keep that in mind when you're looking at attachments, when you're even the auction grade stuff, or if you're out buying a machine. Just look at them, see what the pins are like, and see if that's a system you want to stay with. If not, there is the option. Call JoyT5. Hit them up online. They will build you custom stuff. And speaking of custom built stuff, here is their tilt bucket for the 1-ton. It is, well, overbuilt, to say the least, and I'm here for it. You can see it started out as just the standard cleanout bucket. That's fairly recognizable. But then when you come around and you start really looking at it, that's when you notice the differences. So greasable pin there, Nice thick center pin, you know, that for the tilt mechanism, pivot area. Grease point and grease point on the end of both hydraulic cylinders for the tilt. You can see up there it is, down there. And then, again, those nice wedged pins all the way through. You can see I've used this quite a bit. And then the nylock nuts on the end. Well overbuilt and good value for it, for what you're paying. The only downfall is it's heavy, very heavy. I will put this on the machine and we'll go give a test dig, and you can see what I mean by how heavy it is. With that kind of rough overview of those attachments done, we will, through the power of editing magic, go back in time and see some of the attachments in action, and then we'll jump back to present day, finally put that tilt bucket on, get it in the dirt, and it'll make sense on what I was trying to explain earlier with the weight and why it's a downfall to this attachment, but also why the weight of the machine is a downfall if you're going to be purchasing one for extensive use. Let's go. We'll give her a little test dig there. Ground it's a little hard, but we'll give her a try, see what she does. Alrighty. Alright. Anybody with headphones? I'm sorry, this thing is loud. Here's your warning. noise hopefully over. Let's go take a look at what we did there. See if I remember how to run this thing. Oh yeah, not too bad, eh? Not too shabby, not too shabby. Not going to win any awards, but not too shabby. Alright, well, maybe we'll fire that back up and throw one of these other attachments on. Okay, yeah, another headphone warning because this thing is again loud. We're going to hop up there and rake some ground, I guess. I use it as a ground breaker, more of a ripper than a rake, but each their own. Does work well for what I was in, which was some hard packed loam and a little bit of mixed common. But yeah, let's get on her. Alright, so putting the auger on, as you can see here. One of the things that I don't like about this machine, well, it's not the machine, it's some of the externals on it, I guess, or the way things attach, is you have to take this off, you have to unthread it, and then you attach the hose from your attachment, and you get oil out of it. That's not cool. So come around the other side here where I've already attached it, and you'll see what I mean. You got to thread it in, right, and the way it sits. I will be putting 45s on this so that it comes away from, as well as quick connects. It's going to cost me about 300 bucks Canadian to do it, but in the long run, it'll be worth it. No spillage, plus easier quick connects. Who doesn't like that? Now while we're on this side here, I guess it'd be a good time to mention, should mention, it's imperative to mention, how to change the flow pattern from the thumb to the attachment. And that is simply by turning this valve. Now, you'll see there's black marker on here. And I've done it on both sides. And that indicates flow from the machine up top out to either the thumb up here or the attachment down here. Good little thing I learned a while back. Mark your flow, it's easier on you. Yeah, you know, little tips and tricks. Alright, let's jump up there. Again, another headphone warning. It's going to be loud. Let's jump up there and sink this thing into the ground. See what she does. Alright, so not much of a hole there. I see that. Well, be honest, these machines not weighing a whole lot, that is one of the downfalls. It does not have the downforce to push these bits through heavy compacted material. Now, one way to get around that, and this is something that I will add myself later on, is here and on the cutting edge on the other side, right here. Yeah. We'll be adding the teeth that you find on the man augers that you get from like Home Depot or Lowe's or Rona or whatever, wherever you get a rental from. You find they have they have 2 or 3 teeth there, and that would really help this machine. In the big picture, yeah, it's kind of a pain, but you know what? Again, don't ask it to bore holes to the other side of the planet, and you'll be fine. Again, it is a 1-ton machine. You do have to keep that in mind. I did have the opportunity to work this machine fairly hard, and that was one of the only issues that I found, was it doesn't have the weight or the downforce to deal with certain things. Which, you know, on what could be a very long list of problems or long list of issues, that's fairly minor. With the hydraulic tilt bucket on, you can get a good visual of what it looks like on the machine and why it might be as heavy as I said it was earlier. Just a on the ground comparison of the standard cleanout bucket on the left and the tilt bucket on the right, there is quite a difference in size. They're both the same width, but the cleanout bucket is actually taller and deeper, thus giving you more material, more ability to move material, I should say. You also gain a bit of height in here, from here all the way to the bottom of the pins. That is about a 1 foot 12-inch height difference between the two at the point where they tie on to the machine. Now, you would think that's good, and it is, because if you're digging through soft material, you're going to get that extra depth down. However, it has the opposite effect on the way back up. These machines, as you can see, don't have a ton of reach. The boom and everything does not come up like you would think it would. That making it very difficult, actually, to use that tilt bucket in anything other than a pulling material towards the machine application. And even then, it's pretty sketchy when you get out to the maximum reach on the machine. Having the blade on the ground is a must. Having a couple extra 100 pounds in the rear of the machine would be ideal. Probably never happen, but you know, you can fabricate yourself. You can fabricate something yourself at home to do that. There is room, you know, despite the size, there is room in there, and that's something I will look into. But you know, that's how it goes. It's tippy, and what I will do, I'll jump. with that demonstration on the attachment itself there, they got a little side-to-side action for you, but also demonstrated how easy it is to get the machine to jump with such a heavy attachment on. That's a safety thing. Wear your seatbelt. Some of these machines don't have roll cages, and not just the JoyT5 machine in front of you here. Any of them. Any of the machines that you buy at the auction or secondhand in Facebook Marketplace or whatever, they don't have a ROPS system. As you can see, I don't have a cage. Wouldn't pretend to have one. Wear your seatbelt. If you're working in an area that's a bit tight, there's obstacles at your head or eye level, wear safety glasses, wear a hard hat. There's only one of you at the end of the day. Take care of you. Don't worry about what other people say. Sorry, went down a rabbit hole there. Back to the attachment. This attachment here is heavy for the machine. It's well built. It's more of a 2-ton spec, if anything, on a 1-ton machine. So keep that in mind if you buy this particular tilt bucket from JoyT5, is that it's going to be heavy, but it will outlast most anything else on the market, in my opinion. And that is because it is so overbuilt. As I stated earlier, showed you earlier, the pins, the greasable fittings, the dual cylinders. Most tilt buckets are one on one side. That's okay, but this is better. This is way better. As well as like the thick steel on the attachment points. Like nice thick steel here, everywhere. That's what you want to see. And that to me means quality. They've thought about it, and they want to provide something for the customers that is going to last. And I believe this will. Throw a bolt-on cutting edge, you're good for years. But again, that's just my opinion. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows with these though. I would like to see a few things changed, and that is these lines all the way up. I would like to see those shortened. I understand why there's length on them, shortened, and these away from a 90 like this to either 45 or straight up and then more towards the machine as we go up. Again, as I said in the overview, these I'm not a fan of. I will change them out to a 45 fitting that comes away from the machine, and as well as a quick connect to alleviate any of the threading on and the oil spillage, and to make it just easier and quicker, because we do have this fantastic manual quick attach. Might as well, follow it up with some quick couplers on the hydraulic system. That wraps up my thoughts on the tilt cleanout bucket in particular. Again, I'm not ripping on it. I'm not trying to put it down. I'm not trying to say, hey, don't buy this. I say, go out and buy it. I say, order one from these guys. You're going to get a quality product. But again, just keep in mind, she's heavy and operate accordingly. I'm sure you'll get it figured out. Just do it safely. Take your time. With the attachments back on the trailer, as well as the machine, we're going to call this good. I hope this has given you an idea, or information if you will, about these attachments, and about these machines, and about what to expect. Some things to look for, some things to consider. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. I like these attachments. That's just my opinion. Form your own. Do your own research. I encourage you to do that 110%. I also encourage you to reach out to the JoyT5 guys and talk to them about their entire lineup. They do things from these little 1 tons here all the way up to 8 tons. And I did have the pleasure of briefly demoing one of their 6 tons. You'll find that video on their YouTube channel. At any rate, thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. Again, I hope this helps you. Well, go on and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.